This week, Google was given a secret court order by the U.S. government to turn over information from the email accounts of Jacob Appelbaum, a WikiLeaks contributor for an ongoing investigation with the Department of Justice. Giving up your private emails to the government sounds questionable. Well, the government is actually allowed this access according to the Electronic Communications Privacy Act, passed in 1986, before email even existed. Appelbaum has been one of the many targets in the continued search to uncover all parties involved with WikiLeaks. But the question remains, should it be legal for the government to have access to your private information? And if so, to what end? Greg, how do you feel about all of this?
I just, are you sure it was not 1886? I mean, they went back as far back as they could and said, how can we make this legal? It's really tricky. I mean, to be able to go in and look at your text and look at something that could be considered, put out into the public space, that's one thing. But to go into your email files, to go into your address book and look at your contacts, I mean, that's...
Do they have a right to do, I mean, they obviously, legally, they're finding the ways to do it, but
sure.
Should they have a right to do this, Kevin?
I mean, look, at some point in 1986, someone thought, no, the government shouldn't have a right to listen to your cell phone calls or intercept a facsimile. Back then they thought, no, the government shouldn't have a right to do that. So why should they have a right to do that today? Just because the medium has changed? Just because now it's tweets and emails versus phone calls and faxes? Absolutely not. I think we should have a reasonable right to privacy. And no notification is given whatsoever when the government hops into your email. These things happen in secret. They happen without a warrant. They happen on suspicion of probable cause, not even probable cause anymore.
Right.
And I'm afraid to sex my penis now. I really am.
Really?
You never know.
Don't be afraid.
You keep saying
that's
that.
not what,
I have no idea what
that's not what I heard about last night. No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
exactly.
All right. But is this, would you do this for national security?
Well, here's the thing.
That's the thing.
I think they're doing it anyway, and the fact that it's now in the public, this is, we were talking about how this got blown up because of the Wall Street Journal? Who?
Well, WikiLeaks. It was with
No, in WikiLeaks,
yeah.
but
documents were found that there was a secret court order
Right.
that the government forced onto Google.
So what I'm saying is they're doing it
Yeah.
anyway, and now they got busted. Now they're sending a message to other people. I think that's what they're doing.
Well,
with
Google actually revealed was it 2009?
Google revealed in 2009 that the government started sending them requests for data as far back a couple years ago, and Google said it received over 4,600 requests, and it complied to about 94% of them.
Can you believe that?
And those thousands of requests were actually only in a 6-month window, so we have no idea, and that's just Google. So we have no idea, and everybody knows everybody's on Hotmail. So we have no idea
It's absolutely
how
true.
many requests are actually going out there for what kind of services.
Now you look at something as innocent as iCloud, and where they're going to store all of your information, back up all of your information. Do you want a company like Apple having access to everything? I know, believe me, I love Apple. There's no better company.
It's okay.
Not what he speaks.
Virgin ears, virgin ears.
You know what I'm saying?
It's warm in the studio.
But I had this discussion with my son. I have 3 boys, and they were like so excited about iCloud. So am I.
Yeah.
But I thought, anything you do lives forever online and potentially in the cloud. So you have to be careful who has access to that. And the government, Apple, Google, Facebook.
Kind of need to accept that what you put out there can be accessed no matter what.
You can, but
anytime.
our online community from your Google Plus. That
check
I
out my Google
hijacked.
Plus.
They've had some very strong opinions about it, as the two of you do. Tommy McGrath said that's just wrong. It's an invasion of human rights. And Jason Michael Cannon said, I guess that somehow all the biggest crooks decided that the U.S. government was their best place to find employment. So people are getting very heated about this issue, ones that are staying up to
Well,
date
at least
on it.
someone found employment in this climate. So
Oh, yeah, there you go.
congratulations, crooks.
Is it about adjusting the law, though, at this
Clearly,
point?
I mean, the legislation is outdated. It's like, like you said, they went back as far as they could. I'm sure there's a law somewhere that says, I have the right to copy your papyrus. And someone's going to use
Haven't
that
heard
to
that
say
one
that I
before.
can make, illegal copies of your Justin Bieber album. Like, there's always a way to misread archaic laws. This one needs to be updated.
What is it going to take for that update to happen? More activism? I mean, more people going out there, besides obviously companies like Google and Twitter have come together.
I think
AT&T.
it takes a senator's email needing to get
Yeah.
exposed. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
It takes someone. It takes someone who's in charge of laws having what is being done to American citizens done to their email account, done
When
to
it
their
becomes
Facebook
personal,
profile.
they're going to pay attention to
Yeah,
it.
unfortunately.
Well, we know there are groups like the Electronic Frontier Foundation that are working together to support privacy laws for people.
Right,
and for
but
the
then
community.
there's also doing this for good. you look at access to terrorist websites and access to terrorist
That's the
emails.
other argument, yes.
If that stops some sort of a threat, from actually becoming a reality, I'm all for it. I want to be protected. I'll stand at the airport. They can cavity search me all day long. Number one, it's fun. Number two, but you know what I mean? If it's going to make a safe flight, I'm all for that kind of thing.
But then you got to be, because that to me is a slippery slope argument.
It is.
Because
There's
it's
a
like,
line.
because like the
Sure.
TSA, in my opinion, and I think it's been pretty well documented, it's kind of security theater.
to a certain extent.
Security theater.
I don't know.
Oh, it's security theater. I mean, look, you won't trust me with 3 ounces of hair gel in the same bottle, but I could have 2 bottles right next to each other that have 2.9 ounces of gel.
I mean, that brings up a whole other discussion.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But that's what we all think. But we want to know what you think, so head over to our
You
Facebook
use a
page
lot of gel, though.
right
I
now.
do. Look, I require a lot of product.
I know.
We can talk about gel, or you can talk about bigger issues like privacy online. Okay,
How
people?
dare you.